side, he answered that he would like to see the bow, and he would not like to see the cape, which I find interesting.
Okay, the cape. I mean, I guess... Yeah, I mean, cape is an item that when you do find it, it's not like it has a lot of uses. So, whereas the bow can hide late in the game and be very annoying. So I can definitely understand wanting to get that out of the way first. But we are off just a 5-arrow upgrade in Link's house, and we are on our way to escape to see what weapons we have in store.
Yeah, these randomized weapons been pretty interesting so far. We've seen all kinds of stuff.
I love it. I think it's revitalized standard mode in my opinion, but I won't start ranting about that because we're about to see what we have. I think you can get some really interesting setups, such as the blue cane, to run through all of Escape with.
This is personally for me one of the harder ones. This and bombs definitely up there.
Yeah, I think the nice thing with bombs is that you're mostly, unless you run out due to having trouble using them, but you're kind of set up to get those last 3 chests and escape. Blue cane for me I find frustrating just because you're trying to conserve your magic, so you're not necessarily killing a lot of enemies. So if you don't find a bomb pickup somewhere, you might not be getting a bomb drop either. This is kind of setting you up to have to come back here later to get those last 3 chests, which nobody likes to do.
Yeah, if you have to go through the whole of Escape, you'd really like to pick up those 3 chests right on the way. Yeah. There is a couple of pots with the small magic on the way down in the sewers, but not everyone knows about them. Usually you completely ignore them, obviously, because when you go down there you have a sword, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. And because you're really trying to make sure you save up on magic, especially just for that last rat, I mean, there's no other way to kill it if all you have is that blue cane. So you're not going to go around trying to kill enemies looking for bombs, which, you know, can really put you in the situation of having to come back once you find that glove.
Mm-hmm. The good thing is that you are not able to hardlock yourself anymore, because previously it was possible to just, waste all your magic and then not be able to kill that rat, and that's it. You'll have to restart your whole seed.
Yeah.
And they gladly or thankfully changed that to refill your magic to some extent, or your bombs or arrows, depending on what you get as a starting weapon.
Oh, that green guard just completely getting in the way. Again, a situation of when you're using blue cane and you're trying to conserve that magic, that guard walks right in your way. You don't want to have to waste your blue magic killing him.
Yeah, you barely have any to begin with, and both of our runners get pretty low on magic now. They hopefully know where a couple of those small magic refills are. I think they will.
Yeah, they'll probably know where they are along the way, and they do at least have enough that maybe if they tank some hits, they could just walk right up to that rat later and activate the blue cane and kill it. But again, missing out on potential bomb drops along the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to kill any enemies that are not required to maybe get a chance at a bomb drop. You also see that the seed's been, kind of stingy to begin with. It's only been barely 5 minutes in, but we have 1 or respectively 2 rupees. No bombs, no arrows. We got an extra heart at least, so that's something.
Yeah, Escape isn't giving us anything. So it looks like Eriphram didn't swing by any of those magic refills. This also would be, there's a few rooms here that would be your opportunity to try and kill some enemies, just with pots, although it's not necessarily convenient or fast, so... Oh.
Oh, we got a quick activation there from Withhelde, but unfortunately she didn't really kill anything, did she?
No, but I think it was more just to get through the snakes, especially if they had all grouped up in the middle as they tend to do, although in this case they actually hadn't. But she is picking up some magic drops along the way here. Eriphram did the same as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely, as we can see on Eriphram's
oh, and those three rats bunched up together, that would have been a great potential bomb drop, but unfortunately no bombs dropping. Eriphram kills one more rat hoping to find a bomb, but is now heading out of escape.
Oh, and Withhelde, unfortunately killing the wrong two rats, is now out of magic.
Yeah,
there's another one. Okay,
oh, yeah.
nice. It should be enough to get that one rat, but she has to be really careful to not have it run away. Oh!
And that's exactly what happened.
I'm not responsible.
We all know it was your fault, Herfy.
Of course we do. But I think, unfortunately for her, that's it for the magic down here. She's gonna go for a death save and continue.
Yeah.
Will refill her magic to a third of it, I believe, at the beginning of the sewers.
Yeah, I mean, the one possible benefit to this is maybe that chance for a bomb drop, although if I was in Withhelde's position, I would be more concerned about getting out of here as quickly as possible, because I would assume that I've now fallen behind my opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only what should we call it? The only redeeming thing, I guess, for her is that she knows that her opponent has to go through the same thing she does. So, a blue cane escape is not easy for anyone that isn't practiced with it in some way.
Yeah. And, meanwhile, Eriphram is out of escape and still not getting too many great drops. We're still finding lots of rupees just sitting around.
Yeah, we are
about to head into Kakariko. Oh, another 20 rupees. Wonderful. Oh, the bomb drop for Withhelde.
The bomb, yeah. Okay, so that's a good one. Let's see. Let's see her pull out 3 great items.
This could definitely make a difference. Oh no.
Well, okay. At least it's a couple more bombs.
Oh, Rando, what are you doing? What is the randomizer doing to us? Or to them specifically, I should say.
Yeah, it's not being very friendly at all.
But we have the beginning of the Kakariko village checks, so hopefully we'll start to see some idea of where we need to go. But no, it's going to be more 20 rupees, just more rupees.
Yes, we need more money. We still
and
don't
a
have
sword.
Enough. Okay, that's something finally. The thing for Eriphram here is that he still doesn't have any bombs, so he immediately now goes south. He was probably hoping he would find some bombs in there somewhere, but he's going to be heading to the back of the tavern first and then to the shop and buy some bombs, most likely, with all the money that he's been getting.
Yeah, you always kind of hope that you'll get a bomb drop just in Blind's Hut, and then you don't have to worry about kind of the strange routing around to buy these. But I've also seen a lot of people opt to just, if they come here with no bombs, just go straight for the shop instead. But there's always that chance that you'll get a bomb drop right in the house.
Withhelde opted to go into Lost Woods from the south. An interesting choice. grabs her money here, she's probably also thinking, geez, enough of the money already. Alright, both of these guys now, or girl and guy I should say, ending up in the well.
Yeah.
Get a bottle, that's a very convenient spot.
And you know, Withhelde actually did benefit a little bit from having to do that death reset and getting those bombs, because you drop down here with bombs already in hand, you get more bombs from the chest. Withhelde isn't going to have to run around and buy any more bombs, and so we're kind of seeing them sync up now, even though it seemed like having to take that death and escape was going to be a significant starting setback.
Yeah,
but finding that bomb made all the difference.
Mm-hmm. It really does. It feels really bad to... oh man, that feels kind of bad for Eriphram here, I bet. Getting bombs after having to buy bombs to even get to them.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that it feels really bad to have to reset and escape when you run out of magic or of resources in general.
Mm-hmm.
But with that bomb, as you said, picking up more bombs for her and being able to, you know, not make the north-south north trip in Kakariko.
Yeah.
After enough time that she's behind, like, a couple of seconds, maybe?
Yeah, she just has a couple of locations here to check, but I mean, I think it's gonna be a pretty negligible difference, whereas it seemed like it was a significant difference to start with.
Yeah, and as Chad is bringing up, that's a very good point. Eriphram's probably gonna go check back of escape as soon as he picks up the gloves, and who knows where those are.
That's true.
But yeah, Sick Kid handing us an ether medallion. Not quite sure why he had that, but we take it.
Yeah, the seed still not really telling us where to go necessarily, aside from just keep checking your early item spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume after the racing game, both of these guys immediately fluting over to 7, checking the dam, and then over to the mini Moldome cave.
And Eriphram gets hammer from the race game. Also, didn't even opt to check what was there first. Just went right in and headed straight for the game, and it's paying off.
Oh yeah, that paid off really big. It looked like he was thinking for a second maybe to go up to Death Mountain with that hammer now. Would have been a bold play, I think. And looks like Withhelde is expecting what we're all usually expecting from the race game, nothing.
It's just what you expect to see. I mean, it never has anything.
Yep. We get a bloomerang here in the dam chest, and we're going to be seeing the soggy item just in a second.
More rupees, because of course it's more rupees.
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't gotten 500 for Zora, so...
This is true. Somehow we still don't have 500 for Zora. Feels like all we're finding are rupees.
Yeah, very true. You think they're both going to flute over to 8 afterwards and check the Ice Rod Cave?
I mean, probably. Having that flute does make it a little bit of a faster check. I think it will depend on what we're finding right now here in Mini Moldorm Cave, because if we don't have any clear indication that we have anything else to do, I mean, you might as well, but we just found a clear indication that we have something else to do with the mirror.
Yeah, looks like Eriphram thinking about that Death Mountain play for a second there earlier. Good thing he didn't flute up there immediately.
Yeah. So now Death Mountain is wide open. Oh, but still gonna go check Ice Rod Cave first.
Yeah, you're already here, might as well, right?
Yeah, and with the flute, you can just flute away after. The flute really makes checking a lot of normally inconvenient locations not so much of a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
At least early on.
Yeah, especially, you know, there's still a lot open to you, and it just makes overworld travel so convenient. Except really for, you know, that north part of Hyrule by Sanctuary. I'm not sure why we don't get a flute point there.
Withhelde is opting to save and quit here. Guess thinking about heading straight for Death Mountain. We have Eriphram navigating the dark old man cave.
Yep, looks like he's on his way back out already, picking up the old man. Looks like oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, we just had a map check from Withhelde. I missed what was happening over at Desert, but I did see crystals at Eastern and Hera, neither of which were our red crystals. I believe it was 4 and 2.
Looks like Desert was our green pendant.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Sir Tracker, Sage Figaro.
Woo!
Track of everything.
Doing what I know I can't. Pay attention.
Another heart piece here in Spectacle Rock Cave. We're probably not going to be picking that up. Probably want to skip those 10 arrows on Spectacle Rock as well. Even though, you know...
The 10 arrows are vital. What are you talking about?
I mean, we are only at 11 arrows right now.
It's true, they're running low. I would be worried. This is 100% sarcasm. I'm not.
It's 100% increase for Eriphram.
Nobody take me seriously right now. I'm not. Very sarcastic.
Alright, off to our first crystal dungeon we go.
And we get the big key right away. Upping our chances of not having to go into that basement. Fingers crossed.
Putting that boomerang to good use, only getting a compass here. A little unfortunate. You'd optimally like to see an item of some sort, because the further up you get, the more likely it is that you'll have to get into that basement.
Really nice spin attacks on those hard hat beetles from Withhelde there. Also, I can't help but notice that Withhelde is just constantly getting bomb drops. Oh, Eriphram just got an 8 bomb drop. Never mind. I was gonna say, are we sure they're on the same seed? Because Withhelde's just getting bombs all day. But
yeah, it's very true. She's also ahead by 1 arrow and took 13 rupees somehow. These guys really have been neck and neck pretty much the whole seed. I mean, it's kind of switched back and forth here and there, but
yeah, and it's still early enough that it makes sense. There isn't a lot that they can do differently at this point, especially with the items that they've been given. The seed hasn't been subtle about where to go next.
Very true. We also just got confirmation the basement will be required, but we don't have a fire source, so that's 1 item locked away in here. And Eriphram sadly missed the bomb jump to the big chest, so he fell down 2 floors and has to go all the way back up here. This will be the first little small mistake that makes a bit of a time difference.
Yeah, it was, and it's interesting too, by opting to, you know, not try to do the bomb jump trick and just sort of take the vanilla way down to the big chest, Withhelde has actually ended up taking a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this Hera bomb jump is especially dangerous because of these 2 floors that you fall down if you mess it up, you know. If you just respawn at the door, you know, 5 steps away.
Withhelde was dangerously close to falling down the middle hole in Moldorm, which actually takes you down 2 floors, like you were just saying about that that spot in the big chest. But we do get the Master Sword from Moldorm and our first crystal.
Alright, so Master Sword, probably a nice thing to find because it upgrades both your range and your damage. But if we start finding a lamp and not a moon pearl,
yep,
we might be visiting a certain tower that people don't like to visit a lot.
I mean, even if we find the lamp, the moon pearl, and no glove, we're still two items away from Dark World access. Either of those being missing could be a bad sign for our runners.
Oh, and Eriphram gets knocked off by Trolldome here, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Withhelde dodging the little brothers, children, in Spiral Cave. I'm not sure what those are. They're mini, but I'm not sure what the relation is between the two.
I think they're just the same species, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Or Moldorm just has many, many, many children throughout both the light and dark worlds.
Who knows?
Right, Spiral Cave is one of the few places that it's kind of nice to have sword beams in. That you don't hear that often, but it's nice to be running around there just not worrying about any of the enemies.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Eriphram picking up his crystal just, I don't know, a minute maybe later than Withhelde picked up hers. It's probably also going to be going to the right, making his way through the Spiral Cave and then through the Paradox Cave here, so...
Yeah, you've got a high concentration of items here, such as the Power Glove. So we're a Moon Pearl away from having our Dark World access, which, as we were just discussing, might not be a great situation. Might not be a great situation if they find the lamp instead, like Withhelde just did.
Oh boy!
I swear we don't plan this, people. We do not.
We had nothing to do with this. We didn't even create anything. Nothing.
Dazzly's cheating on commentary. I literally said lamp as that chest opened. Anyway, enough about that. But we do still have a few open spots to take a look at.
This is, I think, a good decision because neither of our runners, but especially Withhelde currently, hasn't been to the eastern area at all yet, and the lamp technically unlocks pretty much all of eastern, with the exception of the boss.
Yes. And you've got your three items from Sahasrara. It's a good little cluster of items that, you know, as far as the randomizer logic is concerned, is wide open for you.
Also, a little thing to note, just because I'm seeing her pick up those hearts, Withhelde choosing the yellow heart color. I don't think I've seen it yet so far. I've seen red, obviously. I've seen green. I personally use blue.
I use blue as well.
Blue hearts. And she is gonna make her way into Eastern. Yep. As I said, I think a good decision rather than immediately storming up to Aga. It could be the right play.
Yeah, it's tough. I think you can definitely see runners in this situation opt right for Aga first, and if Eriphram decides to do that, we could see that making another big difference here, depending on whose choice ends up being the right one. Because some people, especially after a lot of Aga seeds are just very quick to assume, you know, oh, okay, this is clearly Aga, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it only takes so many times where you've decided to hold off on Aga and have to do it before you start getting really quick to just run there.
Yeah, that's very true. I think in this situation, you know, if I'm missing the hammer or the gloves, I'm probably more likely to go to Aga, but if it's just the Moon Pearl that you know, there's only that one location Aga unlocks, essentially, without the Moon Pearl. Mm-hmm. And the chances of the Moon Pearl actually being on the pyramid are probably low.
Yeah, definitely.
Think. So with 3 items, one of them apparently being 3 bombs here in Eastern, there's a good chance it might still not be an Aga seed, but everything is pointing towards it so far.
Yeah, we're running out of spots here.
We still technically can check Sora now because we have a glove and we're, well, almost at 500 rupees.
Yeah, and Zora being open, I feel like when Zora's available, but you don't have flippers, or at the very least Moon Pearl, so you fake flipper into a waterfall cave, that never feels great, having to run all the way over there.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't, and then you don't even have the boots to make it at least a little quicker.
Yeah.
So we're already at 2 out of 3 items here in Eastern, and they've been quite the bust so far. It was a couple of bombs and a heart piece. There's one more chest that Withhelde can check. I think she already checked the big chest just right there, right?
Yes, yeah, it was just a piece of heart.
Exactly. Well, so if this isn't the Moon Pearl,
We've
then
got Zora.
It could be the Titansmiths. And we could have something in Checkerboard Cave, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that also seems like a very unlikely thing to happen.
Just a bottle.
Okay, well, so Sick Kid has our Moon Pearl, right?
No, Sick Kid already gave them Ether. That's their second bottle.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that for a second, too. I was like, oh, bottle. No, they got one before.
Mm-hmm, yeah, already found one right in the well. Okay, so...
I think Withhelde is...
Oh, she's checking the dig spot.
Oh, they picked up that shovel. Okay.
Ooh, I'm just getting a nice little Golden Guard brigade here. Don't see that too often. Ooh, and yeah, as Chad is pointing out, Hera Basement is open as well now with that lamp. We have a fire source.
That it is, yep. Hera had left my brain because they already were there, but... And there's our Moon Pearl at the dig spot.
Well, Eriphram is going to be picking up his shovel from Aghanim now. Sahasrahla, that guy's not Aghanim.
Oh no, poor
yeah, Aghanim on my mind. We just killed him basically, but nope, he's still in my head.
Take that, Sahasrahla.
I mean,
you remind me of Aghanim.
It's some kind of old man, right? It's the same. It's all the same to me.
Sahasrahla is our friend. He tells us where the green pendant is.
Never trust people with pointy ears. Ooh, Withhelde. Needs to watch out a little bit down to 1.5 hearts, getting the BPs in. Gonna be heading to the Dark World immediately now after finding that Moon Pearl. Could theoretically opt to dip in the skull. Let's give us a map check first. We've got blue pendant at Thieves Town, red pendant at Ice Palace, and crystals 5 and 6 at Turtle Rock and Pod. Whew. Okay, that's interesting. Now, here in the Dark World with the green mail, Okay, she gets a fairy. That's fine then. Oop, still needs to watch out a little bit. Gets bumped a little by the tree bomb, but with the green mail in the Dark World, pretty much everything will do 2 hearts of damage to you. The exception apparently being that that tree bomb that she just ran into. Oh, and Withhelde opts to immediately go into Thieves Town before even finishing up with the Kakariko check, while Eriphram finally picks up his Moon Pearl. He also immediately flutes back to 3 and will be heading to the Dark World himself. Okay, since we do have that hammer, we can theoretically check out the big chest as well, so we won't have to leave anything behind. Ooh, and the hook shot, that's a very nice find. So, already worth checking in here, despite it being a pendant dungeon. Eriphram apparently opting to do the same. And Withhelde says, okay, listen, I don't want to deal with blind in my current condition. I want some more hearts, maybe some safety items, or at least better mail so I don't get bopped around too much. Opting to leave after checking the first 4 chests with that hookshot in hand. I don't really blame her. Opens up another little bit of exploration that she can do. And Eriphram is hot on her heels, really. Now also checking into Thieves Town. Alright, gonna be interesting to see here if Eriphram decides to finish up Thieves Town, or at least go further into it. You know, Withhelde getting 20 rupees on the first day.
Well, at least it wasn't, at least it wasn't taking 30 digs to get nothing.
Yeah, that's the worst. You dig like 28 times and then you get a green rupee for it.
And looks like Eriphram also decided to leave Thieves Town. I think that decision definitely makes sense. Just you find a pretty significant item in a pendant dungeon, but there's still a lot left open, so you might as well head out and see what else the world has to offer before you go through and do the rest of the dungeon just for a pendant that you hopefully don't need.
Ooh, the flippers, okay. Well, I was just gonna say, I'm usually of the opinion that if you dip into a pendant dungeon, you finish it. Or at least you grab all the items out of it. And also, if you go into TT, you at least play it so far until you get all the items. And if it means you have to finish it, then so be it. But
yeah, I'm usually so paranoid that I finish the whole thing too. But it seems like runners who are better than me know when to make those calls. So I'm just gonna trust.
Yeah,
that them heading out with that hookshot was a good call. But I'm always the same way. I'm always like, no, I'm here, clear everything just in case.
But yeah, apparently, I mean, Withhelde's decision has already paid off. She picked up the flippers.
I mean, they're set up to go right into swamp.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it. Let's see what we can get out of Hype Cave, other than even more money. Okay, guess bomb upgrades are equally terrible. Okay, Eriphram also picking up his flippers, so now we do have the whole Zora area open, and we also have more than enough money to pay him off.
We do, and I mean, it's... I definitely imagine... Oh, Withhelde taking a bit of a death here. Gonna have to reroute around. That might actually change Withhelde's routing decisions right now, now that I think about it. I was gonna say, it makes perfect sense to just dive right into Swamp right here. It's a crystal dungeon. It's still early enough that there's a lot of item locations in there that you want to see, but that death might change things a bit. Looks like Withhelde is actually heading down for the Zora route items.
Yeah, looks like we're going to hope. Ooh, hello.
Ooh, the fire rod's sitting up there. That's important knowledge to have right now.
That is super important, especially since it's basically immediately available to her. I was gonna say her death was kind of unfortunate, but it wasn't so costly because, you know, you can just take the Dark World Warp down by Link's house and get there immediately.
Yeah.
And even more so now that she knows she has to check Lake Hylia Island, she can just, you know, use that portal, walk over there real quick, and then walk back to Swamp.
Yeah, exactly. It's not out of the way by any means. You start off at Link's house. Swamp is a fast dungeon to get to. But I can definitely also see this logic of, well, I died, I'm back in the light world, let's just go check some things out. And we've already seen how that has paid off instantly.
Oh man, and Withhelde doing what I always do every time. Because every time you walk up to that witch and you press that Y button the first time with a mushroom in hand, she goes like, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, no thank you.
And then you start spamming it, and then on the second press she takes it, and then on the third press you have your fire rod or your medallion equipped, and off we go.
Usually I already have powder, so I just kind of sprinkle her with some powder after. I'm like, here's the mushroom, here, have some glitter too.
Alright, Withhelde buying some potions, and still has enough left over for Zora, but opts to... Oh, okay, I see what she's doing. She's going through the warp. That's smart.
Yeah, this is definitely the good way to do it. I've been trying to train myself recently to do this because if I have Faluda, I always think, oh, go to 2 and run over to Zora. But I mean, this is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, I figured since she was already over at 2 handing in that mushroom, might as well walk over, but it's probably still faster to do it this way.
Yeah, maybe if you have boots, the run over it wouldn't be too bad from the potion shop, but I think without those, might as well take those warps. Less walking.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Eriphram working through Swamp. It'd be interesting to see what items Swamp is holding for us. Withhelde will probably be heading here after, unless there's a significant item drop to sort of change her route. Yeah,
so far not really anything. A little bit of hearts, nothing on the Zora ledge, unless Zora has something really good. This was unfortunately not that great of a choice, but at least it's out of the way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not gonna have to check it later, whereas Eriphram may end up having to come back and check it later.
Alright, and Withhelde opting to pick up a full heart container. Can't really blame him. I think full heart containers are totally worth it every time.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad, and you know they haven't. They're past the 10 heart point, but for how many item locations they've checked and just gotten rupees, I don't blame either of them for wanting to take a heart because we haven't seen a ton of heart drops happening. You would think with so few locations giving progression items, they'd be sitting at much higher health than this.
Yeah, and especially since they're kind of forced into doing a lot of Dark World stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably hoping for at least a blue mail somewhere, and it's not coming.
Yeah, usually you're sitting at, 14 hearts and no progression, not 10 and 500 rupees.
Yeah, it's been a little stingy so far. I mean, the flippers were the last item we found. They open up a bunch of stuff. Is Withhelde going to... Oh, she's picking up her fire rod.
Right, yeah. Makes sense. Get that out of the way. Don't want to have to worry about it later. Don't want to forget about it later.
All right, left side so far has a map. Absolutely not one you want to pick out of the left side of swamp.
Yeah, the full clear swamp isn't really paying off for us so far. What's interesting is our progression sitting in Skull Woods, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, with that fire rod available, it could be.
And there is more of Thieves Town to look at as well.
Mm-hmm, there is. IP is also not open. They don't have the mitts. Never mind me.
Oh, we got some boots from the big chest, though.
Ooh, that's very nice. And also very nice that they found the big key before they went downstairs. It's always so annoying if you have to come back in here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now Withhelde making her first trip into the Swamp Palace. Hopefully also going to be picking up her boots. And even more money, apparently. I mean...
it doesn't hurt. Some potion money is good. Not a bad thing. Would probably rather have, the bow.
Yeah, and of course it's another 300 rupees. Let's see here. What are we still looking for? Obviously the bow, as you just mentioned. The Cane of Samaria, the ice rod. We just found the boots. We might need both medallions. One of them.
We don't know
none
what
of them.
we need for medallions.
I think the next big thing they could find is either probably the bow or the Titansmiths. Probably more the Titansmiths than the bow.
Yeah, I mean the bow. So there's always that chance that pod is bow locked. In which case, finding that bow would be nice. Although we do have some ways around that now. But yeah, I'm thinking Titansmiths as well is really gonna. It's access to a lot of spots and also a lot of information because we do want to know if we need those other medallions.
Mm-hmm. You definitely want to know if you're, once you pick up all the other items, you don't want to go up to Turtle Rock and then realize, oh, okay, I guess I need to look for another medallion.
Exactly. And, best case scenario, that ether is what they need for both of them.
Mm-hmm. Eriphram gets Argus down finally. 2 hearts left. Only
More
gets
rupees.
So it's gotta be Skull Woods, right? Unless it's one of the... Well, the only... Is it the only location? No, with a mirror, they can get there, I think, right? King's Tomb, so it's 2 boots locations?
Yeah, we've got 2 boots locations. Skullwoods, maybe Pod. If you go there and you can start working through Pod, there could be something sitting in there.
True.
But you're not able to finish it, so it's not the most appealing option. But neither is Pendant Thieves Town, which is also open.
Yeah.
with more potential item drops for them.
Alright, and Eriphram is also grabbing his fire rod now. I'm not sure if he ever checked here or if he's just going on a gut feeling.
Yeah, I think Eriphram's just blind grabbing it, which makes sense because now you're in this area anyway, ready to check things like Zora and Hobo and all the Zora related locations. I don't know why I felt the need to list them. You know, everybody knows what I'm talking about. So it makes sense. You're here in the Dark World. Just come over this way and just check things as you go.
Yeah, probably gonna mirror here, check the Hobo, see what's going on there. Withhelde is down to 1 heart here. Needs to be a little careful. I mean, dying in a dungeon isn't the worst, but dying on the left side of Swamp.
This next room, though. I mean, good. Power to you not getting hit by anything in here. Opting for the blue cane, yep.
Very nice, yeah. I saw she also has that blue goo left. That would also be another option. Doesn't want to waste that right now, understandably.
Yeah.
And it looks like Eri is opting to go for that Skullwoods play with a fire rod in hand. I don't blame him. I don't envy him for that Master Sword dungeon, but it is what it is.
I think opting to take the death and get that health refill instead of using that blue potion, saving that. I mean, you have to route back to the big chest room anyway, so why not?
Yeah, I think that looked intentional to me too, and it's not necessarily a bad choice. It's probably a little bit slower, but it's definitely safer, and it doesn't, cost you a huge amount of time.
Yeah, and when you're thinking, you're probably going to take a hit from something on the way anyway, you might as well just do it on purpose and get your health back.
Alright, so here is Skullwoods. Let's see. Oh, and there's the bow. Okay.
Oh, and that was open to them the whole time.
It sure was.
Could have checked that immediately. Although I do like that they're going to be back here now with Fire Rod, so they're ready to complete the dungeon at least. So, I mean, in that sense, I like that choice.
Yeah, at least they don't have to go through the whole thing 2 times, or at least the back part of it. Alright, Withhelde finishing up the rest of Swamp here. Gonna be heading into that Argus fight to pick up all the money that's left in this dungeon. Eri is gonna be trying to dodge these mummies, trying to give them a hug.
Yeah, those two can be very frustrating when you're trying to pull that statue around.
Oh wow, what's going on there? Alright, well the Argus fight here in the Master Sword. Unfortunately, a little troublesome because you have to hit all these little puffs twice. Also, Eri grabbed the mitts. So we've got the mitts and Skullwoods as well as the bow. That seems to be pretty loaded for only having 2 items. Those are 2 pretty damn good items, if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, those are 2 significant items, and in a spot that you could have checked out right away. But at least now, the Eriphram's in a position of knowing that he has both items, so no point in checking anything else. Let's just go grab the crystal and get out of here.
Yeah, the sad thing for Withhelde right now is that she doesn't really get a lot of opportunities to catch up on time for now.
Yeah.
Once she makes her way into Skullwoods and, you know, grabs those 2 items and then finishes up Skullwoods, hopefully, she'll be back in a position where she can, you know, make other decisions or maybe make some gambles that will put her back. But right now, her only option is to also head into Skullwoods and hopefully grab those items.
Yeah, and the fact that she had already checked the Zora location and got that fire rod could make a difference. At least she's going right to Skullwoods, most likely, as opposed to checking a few things just out of Swamp. But there really isn't many options of what to do next here, so it really is going to be we're kind of just going to see Withhelde following Erifram's footsteps for at least a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least until after Skullwoods, and then there's a chance for a lot of divergence, I'd say. Eriphram needs to be careful. Has a red goo, had a green goo. I mean, nothing to refill his health. Is down. Ooh, very nice.
The B strats though.
Mm-hmm. That saved him for sure.
And of course, that's the good bee. So it's flying around saying, "Take me with you," but we have no net to do so.
Yep, not taking you along. Thanks for all your hard work.
Sorry, bee, you're the new Mothula now. This is your home.
Oh yeah, maybe that's how new Mothulas are made for the next seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's the lore now, guys. Usually people opt to go for the bee immediately at the start of the fight, and all that does is usually mess it up for them because the bee keeps knocking Mothula into the spikes and nothing you do does any damage to him.
And I'm interested to see. Looks like Eriphram is taking a peek at what's sitting up on Bumper Cave, and and it's the book.
Oh man, but we don't have a cape yet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not required, but it's entirely possible that we need it, depending on what the Ether and Bombos tablets are holding.
Mm-hmm. We definitely don't need it for desert anymore, obviously, but no. Those 2 tablets could be something.
Yeah, and it looks like Eriphram's checking, so going to probably check Graveyard Ledge while also checking out the 2 bonk spots and getting the blue mail for it.
Yeah, very nice. Might even opt to make his way all the way over to Quakefish. If it's not, you know, it's an out-of-the-way location that people don't like checking, but if you're already making the north route here.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Eriphram hasn't gone to Waterfall Cave or Zora, so at least for Eriphram, checking Catfish can be combined with that.
Oh, that's true,
that
yeah.
Mirror. So that's a lot of item checks out of the way all at once, just by taking this route.
Then I'm almost sure that he's going to do that. Because it's just very convenient routing, and anytime you can combine Quakefish and Zora, it's just such a good feeling, and you usually don't skip that. You know, for a King's Tomb, that was kind of disappointing. Withhelde here, trying to get through the torch room without killing any Gyptos, conserving her magic. Makes it through nicely, only gets popped once. It doesn't have a key though.
Fortunately, we do have one on this one here, but that did cost a little bit more magic. And yeah, that torch room can be rough when you're trying to save magic that way, but I think if you keep practicing that, it's definitely it can go very smoothly. It's definitely worth trying to get down.
You're right, also turning in the mushroom here, I forgot he hadn't done that either, so that's even more item locations he can check on his north route here, so a very good routing, I'd say.
Oh, it looks like Withhelde's finally gonna have to use that blue potion. Was making use of the blue cane here on Mothula.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad decision to keep yourself safe. It's it's a little hard to do damage with it, especially if you keep bumping him into the spikes, but it can work out. Well, going for the spin strands here.
Yeah, I have to give Withhelde credit for, I mean, right from the outset of this fight was using sword spins in a way that I feel like I've not seen people do. and doing a very good job of it too.
Yeah, it worked out very nicely.
That is tough to do in that room, especially with the, you know, the ever-changing treadmill floor that's pushing you in every direction, then you slow down your speed because you're holding your sword out. I mean, that is not an easy strategy, and I think Withhelde made it look easy. So I just really want to emphasize that that's hard to get down.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though she had to use a potion, that was really well done by her. Gets him down in the end. I'm sure she's thankful for that. I'm not sure if we had anything of importance down in this chest here. I think she already grabbed both of the items, right?
It looks like
she got the bow and hopefully the mitts as well.
It looks like she didn't pick up the mitts yet.
Yeah, according to our tracker, she is missing the mitts, which, well, I guess she'll pick them up on her way back. That was her plan, hopefully. Oh, mitts and big chest, that makes sense.
Oh.
She's going back in here, though. Did she just go straight to Mothula and we both missed it or something?
Oh yeah, no, big key chest. I was gonna say I don't think the mitts were in the big chest because Eriphram already had them when he went to fight Mothula, and Mothula had the big key. But they're in this chest in the next room. That's what happened. And I think she did opt to skip that at first, and well, clearly because she's going for it now instead.
She might be, yep, she's unfortunately a little too far to the left with that statue, and now she's kind of stuck between the mummy and the statue. Oh no, she's leaving it. Oh,
that could be a major problem.
If she went right back in there, that counts as a dungeon entrance, and she could just, you know, take a quick death, get her health back, and then get it.
Yeah, it looks like she's hoping that the item will be in one of these locations instead.
Yeah, hopefully she goes back for it. But meanwhile, on Irai's stream, we see he is back in Pod. Mm-hmm. Or has he even been there before?
We haven't been to Pod yet, yeah.
Not sure why I'm saying he's back in Pod. I guess we see that dungeon a lot. Alright, and Withhelde got her health refill here and is now making her way out to the entrance here, hopefully going back for those mitts, because if she really does leave that chest behind for now... Oh no, looks like she's coming back. Alright, very nice.
Yeah, I think she's definitely aware that there's still an item, so... Then it's, at this point now, she knows it's got to be this chest. And getting the fire rod ready immediately so that she can deal with the Gyarados right away, not get stuck in that situation again.
Yeah, she still tries to conserve magic, but yeah, there it goes. It's just, you know, it's worth killing these guys. And her bomb drops continue, apparently. Oh, she might be a little too far to the left again. Oh no, she gets
looks like we're okay.
Right.
And you know, if you are in the situation where you are running low on magic because you had to use it in this room, there is one just through that bomb wall to the right. There's a full magic refill.
Very true. Eriphram now on his way over this falling bridge. Had to go and reset it because it got trolled a little bit by the mini home source. Ooh, tempered sword. Held back, find some more potions here. Let's see where she out.
We're not getting too much significance out of Pod yet.
Yeah, I mean, the tempered sword is very nice.
Yeah.
But other than that, we really haven't seen anything of worth so far.
The benefit, though, is that at least it is a crystal. It's one of the red crystals. And you can head right into Eastern, grab another crystal, and then you're down to, well, you got to go to Mire. Mm-hmm. Unless you find something for Turtle Rock, but so far, it's looking like no.
Yeah, that Kane. Ooh, he doesn't have the big key. That is... That's unfortunate. Withhelde now needs to be super double careful because not only will Kiki run away, if she gets hit, she will also die.
Yeah. Ooh. Very close quarters there.
Alright, she got it. And as soon as she's into a pod, she's pretty much safe, I'd say.
So we have Vanilla, Big Key, and Pod, but then Eriphram has to hop down here and grab this. Oh, 10 bombs. Where's that small key? And there's another small key somewhere.
Gotta be in that big chest.
Oh, it's in the big chest. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man.
That hurts. That hurts.
That is
maybe here. Maybe here. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Although probably still gonna check the big chest anyway, but it would have been if you had confirmed that it had been a small key, that would have really been
that would have been awful.
Oh, I think we're gonna get a hammer yump.
Okay, I like this. That's that almost makes me happy that he forgot he didn't have the big key.
Okay. Couldn't quite get the setup there, unfortunately. Although has to reset the room now, so maybe Eriphram will take another go at it. Now looks like he's opting to head back into the maze.
Probably doesn't want to waste too much time trying for the bomb jump and then not getting it. Did Withhelde immediately go to the Bollock section, or did she grab the vanilla big key chest first?
I believe, yeah, she went right for the bow side.
Okay. So no big key for her either. Unfortunate. That would have maybe given her another chance to make up a little bit of time here. Oh, but she's going back to the entrance, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to loop around this way and probably check that on the way.
Ooh, I like this. That's gonna make it a little more convenient for her than it was for Eriphram.
Yeah. And you know, when they're really this close in time, all it's going to take to catch up is making little routing decisions like this through dungeons. You know, despite a few deaths, we kind of see the difference it's making, because you would think with the deaths that Withhelde has taken, she would be a bit further behind than this, but she's keeping up pretty well, and it's thanks to some of those routing choices.
Yeah, she really has managed to, you know, cut off a couple of seconds here or there where Eriphram had to, you know, I don't want to call it double dip, but make a double trip through some dungeon
Yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's also worth noting that between every dungeon visit so far, I believe, I don't want to make it sound too crazy, but it's been quite a few times that Withhelde has made a little stop at the potion shop to fill back up on her bottles.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, you know, is by no means a bad idea. I always encourage getting some security and safety potions, but it costs a little bit of time every time.
Mm-hmm. Pretty clean Helmasaur fight there from Eriphram.
Yeah, very nicely done. He's going to be grabbing his 4th crystal at about the 1 hour 6 minute mark, and just a piece of heart. At least, you know, he saves a couple of frames on the heart refill.
Yeah, and we'll have a very quick route to our next crystal, just sitting in Eastern, which I imagine Eriphram will grab right now while we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he sure will. Yep, mirroring right back. Thing is, they've already picked Eastern clean, as far as I remember, so this is not going to give us any new progression other than, you know, an additional crystal.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from here? I guess Ice Palace is theoretically open. The Mire area is very obviously open. Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I want to say I feel like we would be checking Mire area first, see if we have the required medallion, although we don't have that red cane, so that could be sitting in a lot of different spots.
Withhelde taking a little bit of an unfortunate death there. Yeah, we still got the back half of TT left as well, and yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna hit that point where there's a lot of item locations that could be checked. The seed has been kind of closed off and a little bit linear at this point, so it's been really dungeon to dungeon. But now we have so many things open that could have the items we need, and 2 dungeons that need items to actually complete them.
Yeah,
so they have to start the treasure hunt for that red cane and ice rod, and possibly medallions if ether is not the one we want.
And especially out of those 3 potential items, I think the ice rod probably the most worrying of them all.
Yeah. Nice quick kill on Armos Knights from Eriphram.
Yep, very nicely done. Grabs his 5th crystal. No, 6th crystal? No, 5th crystal. I can count, I promise. So Eriphram is opting to walk back here, which makes me wonder where he could be going.
I think the only thing would be the pyramid ledge.
Yeah, okay, the pyramid ledge is still open.
I think we've seen that. Did either of them check it? I don't think we've seen it.
No, I don't think we've seen it yet. I mean, he made the way all the way over to Catfish, so this is really the only thing that's left here.
Yeah. And I mean, in some situations, you know, you might see people waiting to check until they have, you know, the crystals for Pyramid Fairy, but in this case, that other crystal is Turtle Rock, and we don't have the items we need to complete that. So it makes sense to come here and check the Pyramid Ledge, because it could be holding that cane, and you're not really in a position to have to come back here later. You know, if we if we have the items we need for Turtle Rock, we're in go mode.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was just another bee in a bottle at the Pyramid Ledge. Eriphram opting to not even pick that up. And it looks like Eriphram is opting for that Dark World Death Mountain check as his first option here.
And it makes sense. Quite a few item locations could double check that Hera basement situation, as we've been talking about. Also see what medallion is needed to get into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and that Spike Cave. So we'll have to see. There's quite a couple of items here, as you say. Coming up on the first two chests here in the Super Bunny Cave. Okay. That's a butter sword. I'm sure we're happy about that, but that doesn't really help us any way right now.
It's definitely not bad to have. We're still sitting with no silvers, so it certainly doesn't hurt to have the best sword you possibly can if you're going to be doing a silverless Ganon fight.
Yeah, and with the butter sword, silverless is really not too bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, a red boomerang, a couple of hearts, and 50 bucks.
Yep. Hookshot Cave not paying off for us.
I think we saw that the floating island only had an arrow upgrade or 10 arrows or something earlier, and it is indeed ether for Turtle Rock.
Nice, nice.
So that's one less worry for our runners here.
Looks like Eriphram's deciding to go to the Mire area, not checking the Hera basement or Spike Cave. I can definitely understand not wanting to check Hera basement at this point. There's a lot still open, and it's a slow. It's a slow trip. I am a bit surprised by not checking out Spike Cave while you're over in that area. But I guess just not wanting to have to deal with saving and quitting out, possibly having to use magic or potions. Speaking of, half magic out of the Mire shed.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Again, like the butter sword, you're happy to find it because it makes stuff easier. It just doesn't really help us get anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Did you catch what that Mire medallion was? Because I sure didn't.
I did not. It'll be interesting to see where Withhelde decides to go from here, because Withhelde has essentially caught up and is now just behind on item checks. So if Withhelde makes a different decision of where to go next after this dungeon, she could be catching up.
Yeah, I mean, right now she's really only behind that butter sword and the red boomerang, I guess, but, you know.
Is that even worth mentioning? And Withhelde is going to Mire area first, and we know that at least... Oh, wait, never mind. Maybe not.
I think she meant to.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess just checking the ledge first to see if she needs to run down and grab it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Apparently Mire was quick.
Oh, okay, so we can't get into Mire. Yeah,
we cannot.
Which is probably also why Hera is right now checking out the right side of desert. We had the torch, the key on the torch.
Withhelde does indeed have green mail. Withhelde did not pick up the blue mail, which was in the Bonk Rocks next to Sanctuary.
It's fluting again quicker than using Mire. It kind of depends. I think... Ooh, there's Quake for Mire.
Quake and checkerboard. Nice convenient spot for that to be.
Mm-hmm. What I wanted to say is I think it kind of depends. It doesn't really make much of a difference because you either flute again and then know that you don't have to run down, or you Mire and run down and then see that you don't want the item and have to run back.
Yeah, I mean, with the boots, I feel like it's probably not that big of a difference. I could see it being faster not having to walk down and grab it and walk back up, because you have to mirror higher up than the actual item spot.
Yeah.
So it looks like Withhelde is choosing to go somewhere else right now, thinking about whether or not she wants to look for, I guess, that red cane to finish Mire.
Yeah, I mean,
which could be in a lot of spots. I mean, it's probably, I don't know. It'd be interesting if it's in Mire. That would be, I mean, frustrating for our runners. Interesting to see if that's what the seed has done.
Yeah, she apparently goes for the Rock locations here, probably deciding to, making the choice between, do I want to go into a pendant dungeon again, or do I want to check one or a couple of these one-off overworld locations?
Yeah, and those are always tough decisions to make. It's, you don't have what you need to finish Mire, but I would have felt tempted to go in, but at the same time, there's so many other things to possibly check as well. This is a spot where it's not easy to make a decision of where to go. Yeah,
there's a lot open, but it's not really high density location.
None of it is appealing.
That's a very good way of putting it.
It's all open, but you don't want to do any of it. It's like if I was running this, I would just be thinking, I don't want to go to any of these places that I'm supposed to go right now.
Eriphram picking up his Quake here, so he now also technically has access to Mire. Let's see if he decides to make the dip in.
If I was running to see, what I'd be thinking is, Uncle gave me the wrong cane. Why is he such a jerk? That's what would be going through my head right now.
And we are seeing that Mire dip here from Mire.
Withhelde getting stuck on that dead rock, that's never a fun situation.
Those dead rocks. Okay, so she is now also opting to do the right side of Death Mountain. Apparently opting to go through the portal of Turtle Rock, which means she will immediately be able to open it, which is very nice. Can obviously not do anything.
And Eriphram has hopped into Mire here after finding Quake. Very interested to see if Red Cane will be here. Are there locations that are still blocked to us that Mire could just be opening? I guess the cape to book to a tablet having the Red Cane, which I hate to even say that out loud. Why did I say that?
No. You forgot the powder on the tablet.
Right, of course. So that Magic Bat can have our red cane, of course.
Mm-hmm.
How foolish of me to forget.
I don't hope for it, and I don't wish it upon them, but I still think the rest of TT has a chance to come back to haunt both of these guys.
This is true. We also do have Spike Cave still unchecked, and Withhelde is right there, so maybe she'll opt to go and check that out right now.
Oh yeah, very true. Eriphram earlier opting not to go over there. It is true that we got I think 3 items out of TT in the first 4 chests, so the chance of finding something great in the rest of the dungeon isn't exactly high. Eriphram going for one of the more annoying places here in the whole game, moving wall. It takes forever in the day.
Yeah, this game doesn't really have cinematics, so to speak, but this is kind of one of the few things that you might call a cinematic, and there's only a few of them. Always sucks to just be sitting there waiting for it to finish.
Yep, all of them are annoying.
I mean, this one you don't even get to see what's happening. I mean, what were they thinking?
Yeah, my favorite is that
stuff is just shaking.
Yeah, my favorite is that near the end of it, you see the torches all slowly going out, and you're like, okay, geez, I've been standing around here for an hour.
So Withhelde is checking the Hera basement, and then probably hop into Spike Cave right after.
Yeah, this might be a turning point here, that Hera basement.
Oh, if Hera basement is holding our item, that would be... That would be interesting.
Going for the sword outstretch here, I like it. So far, it looks like for Eriphram here, Mire not really giving him what he wants. This is the last chest he can check currently, and it's a map, so So this really could be big for Withhelde.
Yeah, I mean, there's still enough open that we could be seeing the item we're looking for sitting somewhere else entirely, but it's starting to come down to the wire. We're running out of spots.
Oh man!
And there it is. There it is.
All right. So we've got the red cane. That means Withhelde is probably gonna go where Eri just had to leave, unfortunately, because he didn't have that cane.
Yeah, and this is tough. Do you think maybe I'll check? Yeah, maybe I'll check Spike Cave. I'm right here. I still need one more item for Go Mode, and it could be anywhere.
I mean, if you're right here, might as well.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. It's definitely such a hard decision to make, because you're thinking to yourself, this could be a chance to gamble. This could be my big gamble, that's going to pay off. But I think it's the sensible decision.
Yeah, it's good to be thorough, and I do believe that, unfortunately, for Eriphram, he is not going to be checking that Hera basement for a little bit at the very least. Yeah,
we could likely see Eriphram go into a lot of other locations before heading there. I mean,
there's so many.
At the very least, Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're about to see Ice Palace. Which, I mean, maybe Ice Palace has the Ice Rod.
Yeah, we don't know.
Possible.
We are not in Go Mode yet, so we might still see a pendant dungeon that is required, where we haven't been at all yet. But there's also one more item left on Vitrius, which only Withhelde will be able to get to right now. And I think Eriphram is either doing the blacksmith rounds or going back into Thieves Town.
Or possibly both. Get them all out of the way while you're here.
Yeah, not a bad choice either.
And we also have Hammer Peg Cave here included in this sequence.
Mm-hmm. The thing is... let me think. The thing is, what happens if Eriphram finds the ice rod now? Then we kind of have a weird split situation where, you know, we have two items. Who will find the other item first?
And, you know, ice rod is, I think you were even... Ice rod kind of a annoying one to have be your go mode item. Because it's so tempting to think, you know, it might be Turtle Rock or Mimic Cave, so let's just go there first. And so if Eriphram does pick up the ice rod somewhere else, that could lead to Withhelde doing an unnecessary double dip into Turtle Rock and spending a lot of time trying to find it.
Yeah, the ice rod is just an awful thing, really. The worst item in the... Oh, well, speaking of...
Well, there it is.
Alright, so we are exactly in that situation.
Yeah. So it's all going to come down to whether or not Withhelde decides to do more overworld checks after this, or if she decides to go straight to Turtle Rock, hoping that Ice Rod will be there, or Mimic Cave.
Yeah, hopefully for her, she doesn't want to risk the double dip into T-Rock that she might be facing, so...
Yeah. And that's sort of the issue. I mean, there is also the fact that Eriphram needs to go pick up that red cane, but really, I feel like Withhelde avoiding the ice rod right now will be far more time consuming than anything Eriphram's gonna do before picking up that red cane, because Eriphram's gonna run out of spots that he can even check before you know, if Withhelde does a double dip into Turtle Rock, that's gonna take a lot longer than the few spots Eriphram has left to do before checking that basement.
The thing is, with the portal placement here, as we see, he's apparently going back into Thieves Town, and we already know that's going to waste him some time. Especially since there's only one item left, we might be in a situation where Blind has the last item, and it's going to be, you know, maybe the worst probably would be it being the book.
Oh, or the cape. We know where book is, but yes.
Oh,
but
yes, yes.
That would be bad, though, yes. I mean, if anything, the fact that book is on Bumper Cave Ledge makes it even worse. It's even worse possible sequence. That's going to really send you off in a totally different direction than you want.
Yeah, that is indeed even worse. Oh, man. So hopefully the last item, whatever it is that he will find here in Thieves Town, will be quick and also not the cave.
yeah. Just, you know, maybe just like a bomb. You know,
yeah.
vanilla bomb.
This is the one time where we're hoping for a crappy item to find. You know, a bomb upgrade, 10 arrows, something like that. Alright, so Withhelde just found her big key. I think she's finished up the left side completely now. She's going to be heading over to the big chest, and then hopefully also picks up the little small chest up to the north here. And now we are on our way to Vitreous, and we'll see what that last item here is. Unfortunately, we also already know it's not going to be the ice rod that Withhelde is looking for.
Oh, we just got Bombos out of Thieves Town.
Okay, so that at least doesn't really open up anything other than maybe reinforcing Eri to go and check Ice Palace.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, I feel like, as even though we know, because we've seen it, we know that that wouldn't be the right decision. I would understand that decision. I feel like most people would make that decision right now if they were in Eriphram's position.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't check the Hera basement when Withhelde did, and when Eriphram was up on Death Mountain again earlier, then you're not going to go back there.
Yeah,
not until
exactly.
you've checked pretty much everything else.
Really nice blind fight from Eriphram there. There was still one more item, apparently. That was a +5 bomb upgrade, so...
Okay, so it was actually 2 items.
We had 2 items left in Thieves Town, yeah.
Keep in mind, if Eriphram decides to dip Ice Palace, it's also the last pendant dungeon, so he might be thinking about a blind pad pull if it comes down to it.
Could you imagine if the pedestal has the cape?
Oh my god.
And you wouldn't be able to know because the book is sitting there on the ledge.
Don't even. Withhelde is having a little trouble here, saving her last life with the Cane of Burn. I'm not sure if she's out of potions, but I'm sure she's gonna go for the burn strats here on Ready. But the dash is perfect. Can't go better. You sadly can't really charge your sword when you have the Cane of Burn out, so she'll have to go with the dashes.
Yeah.
Go with the butter sword.
Yeah, even just the sword swings are decent here. With the
Look at where Eri is going.
Yeah, it looks like Eriphram is going right for Hera Basement, which is definitely the right decision. So it's now going to be up to where Withhelde decides to go next.
Mm-hmm.
If we see Withhelde heading over to Kakariko, then we know she could be headed right for that ice rod.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, she's mirroring back. She's fluting somewhere. Let's hope it's not Death Mountain. It's desert, apparently.
It looks like she's going to check desert first, yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense. You're right outside of it, and you're...
Mm-hmm.
It's quick enough. If you find those 2 items right away, you can just get out of here. You know you found what you need. And chat was making a good point discussing the fact that despite how easy a lot of runners make it look, Silverless Ganon isn't necessarily easy, so there's always the possibility that our one or both of our runners want to find those first.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, it can be very time consuming. There is, by the way, our go mode for Eriphram.
Woo! Go mode.
But yes, it can be very time-consuming to find those silvers, depending on where they're hiding. But some runners, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with silverless, it beats dying to Ganon 10 times. Rather spend that time looking for those silver arrows. Interesting choice by Eri here, because I guess he doesn't want to make the trip back up to Death Mountain again later, even though he'll have to anyways.
Yeah, I imagine it's not too big of a difference here either way.
Just personally, I probably would have fluted away. He's already cleared all of Mire, so it's straight to the boss, and then you come back here, you know, Gomo, Turtle Rock, and you're right again, it's Tower. Yeah. But I'm sure he has a plan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at least after doing this, Mire is... Go mode Mire, you're not looking for any items in there, you're just trying to find that big key, and then you're heading out.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, as we saw earlier, he's got, I think, everything out of there.
And you know, on the subject of silvers, I mean, Turtle Rock is there's not really a go mode Turtle Rock necessarily. You often get stuck kind of having to check most of the things in the dungeon along the way. If you pick up those silvers, Vitreous is a very easy fight. Vitreous fight with silvers is so fast that, I mean, that's kind of the ideal situation. Yeah. So if you're going to have to go through Turtle Rock anyway, might as well do it first, see if you get those silvers, and then have no problems killing Vitreous in a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Withhelde is heading up to Turtle Rock, hoping to find the ice rod along the way up there.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate for her, but she hasn't been thinking about that blacksmith route and everything that entails at all, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's understandable. I think you've got Turtle Rock, your last crystal dungeon, and all you're looking for is ice rod. I mean,
I think
it's totally understandable that you would think to just go and do this.
I think this is definitely not a bad decision. We sadly know it's not the right one in this case, but that doesn't make it a bad decision. And in Withhelde's case, I think she might be feeling a little bit behind anyways, so she probably thinks the gamble might be worth it if she does find it in here.
Yeah, and you know, there's always... And it makes sense too, because Turtle Rock is 6 items, 7 with Mimic Cave. I mean, you're thinking to yourself, you're probably going to find Ice Rod. Or, sorry, 5 items, 6 with Mimic Cave. So you're thinking you're probably going to find Ice Rod there. We just already have the knowledge that it's not, so...
We see Eriphram having to check that little lava chest in the middle because he does not have the big key yet. And there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Withhelde not too far behind now, coming into the roller room while Eri makes his way over. I'm guessing he's going to be skipping out on Mimic Cave.
Yeah, probably not going to check that, especially when you're in this... The layout of Turtle Rock so far is telling you that you're checking everything, so why take time on one item location? You're probably full clearing Turtle Rock at this point.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And,
so even if you're hoping to maybe find a silver drop, it's like, well, you might as well just bet on it being Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and there's still probably, you know, you're not assuming that you're going to find the Ganon Star big key in the first chest immediately, so there's still a couple of chests left there.
Exactly.
Oh, and Withhelde needs to be a little careful here with his chain chomps. Ooh!
Oh, that was close. That was very close.
And making ample use of the cane and gets a timely refill. Very nice.
Nice. Nice.
You know, even though the heart count and we finally got blue mail as well, but we've been kind of stingy on the safety items. We've got that cane that makes everything lag and annoying, and you can't spin your sword. Didn't get a cape, didn't get any powder or anything.
Yeah, not necessarily a lot of safety items in this seed. I mean, even... Oh, that's a nice spot for that key. We're not checking anything else. Yeah, not even, you know, just a couple of bottles. Nothing to get yourself fairies. Our safety has really been all those rupees. The potential to fill those bottles with something.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now we're coming up on the Trinix fight here for Eriphram. Second to last crystal.
Half magic and butter sword. I mean, this is...
Yeah, and the boots. Potential for a backdoor zero cycle. Oh, and there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Very
well
nicely
done. He still manages to get one headbutt going, but oh, and great positioning there. Trinix is down.
Very nice Trinix fight. So that leaves only a pretty much, you know, I'd call it go mode Mire if he hadn't been in there already. He's cleared it out completely. He's got the big key. He's got everything that he wants from Mire, so he's just going to run straight to the boss as fast as he can. And then we're back on our way up Death Mountain, where we were leaving right now. Meanwhile, Withhelde is coming up to Mimic Cave, which she is probably going to show us because she's unfortunately still looking for that ice rod. Maybe she'll find the silvers. Alright, here we are, back in Mire. With the sword beams, this room isn't so bad. Unfortunately, he runs into a whiz rope. Still pretty quick. Also gets 2 hearts. Doesn't pick the other one up. Who wants sword beams?
No. I mean, maybe for that room itself, but after that, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need them anymore after that room is done.
And Withhelde diving deeper into Turtle Rock is going to be coming up here on the little roller room and then eventually to the laser bridge, which, you know, half magic, kind of doable, still extremely annoying.
Yeah, and it's definitely worthwhile to note too that this is a situation that anyone can end up in. That ice rod location. This seed in general actually has had a lot of overworld progression items, and I think the ongoing trend for a while has been that people feel like you just want to head straight for dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally understandable with where that ice rod was that there was so much open to check, including Turtle Rock itself, which has so many item drops.
Yeah, it was absolutely not a bad decision by her to go in here. It could have very well been in here. Nobody knows, you know, until you finally find it.
Exactly.
And at this point, it's also a little turned around from earlier because now I'm hoping that Withhelde isn't the one who ends up finding a book, or a cape rather.
Yeah. Which is entirely possible still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Powder. That's another fetch quest that's not so great for her to find.
At least it's a fetch quest that puts her in the right area to find Ice Rock, though.
Oh, and there she realizes, oops, that's the last item, a heart container, not what I'm looking for. And hopefully, yeah, you're right. Hopefully that Powder puts her in the right idea.
Yeah, that could send her in the right direction. And with that last crystal, Eriphram is going to be on his way up to Ganon's Tower, which means it's time for our Ganon's Tower Big Key guess. There are 22 item locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower. So we're looking for number 2, 1 and 22 as to where you think Eriphram will find it. Get your guesses in chat, and I was about to ask you, Herfy, what your guess was, but you just put it in. I see you threw in an 8 there.
8 is always my number, every time. And you know, I've already won once with it in this tournament, so I'm hoping my luck continues. What about you?
I just threw mine in with a 3. I always enjoy seeing that. I enjoy seeing if they follow the routing I'm thinking. I'm hoping for Bonk Torch just being the 3rd thing they check. I love seeing it there.
All right. Yeah. The Bonk Torch always, you know, or not always, but sometimes a pretty clutch item location.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, sometimes you have those seeds where you're entering Ganon's tower, but you've never found the boots.
Yep, exactly.
And you're like, is this finally gonna be the one seed that I've always been afraid of?
Yeah, there's all that nightmare of Big Key on Bonk Torch and boots in Tile Room, which, yes, has happened to me.
Oh boy, that sounds almost as awful as my first tournament seed, which had the bow in Tile Room.
Oh no!
Yep. Alright, here we go. Gonna be opening up Ganon's tower with yet another cutscene. I think this one is less annoying than all the others for some reason, even though it's probably just as long.
Yeah. Definitely shorter than the Mire one. Mire is just obscene.
Oh, yes.
So Eriphram is heading in, and it's going to be time to start counting.
Yep, while Withhelde is making the right decisions here, she's probably not going to be too happy, but she's going to be finding her ice rod finally.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's picked up that smith, so she's going to have to drop him off after finding the item she's looking for.
Yeah, very annoying. Oh, and there's your number 3.
1, 2, and 3 are out for having our big key.
Yep. Bob will live. Oh, and she's not happy about that ice rod.
Yeah, some frustrated swings happening there.
As you said, with that frog in tow, she can't even, you know, immediately leave. She has to bring that guy back first.
We got the bug net finally in chest 4 here. And nothing but keys. Small keys.
Come on, number 8. Power of the firebar room compels you.
Oh, and since she dropped the blacksmith off, she just figured she'd check the item anyway, and it was just 3 bombs, something that we know she doesn't need. She's been finding plenty of those this seed.
Yeah, unfortunately my guess only yielded the red mail, but, you know, better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely nice to have at this point.
Mm-hmm. She's also going to be checking out the bat here. I'm assuming she's going to be looking for silvers.
Yeah. I think at this point you might be thinking, since I'm here, I'll just check these 2 locations, and if I find silvers, maybe that'll speed me up a little bit to make up for some of the other decisions that probably made me fall behind.
Mm-hmm. So we're now up to location number 9, which had the shield. I think we're coming up on 10, 11, 12, and 13, if I'm counting that right.
Yep. And there it was at 12.
Here it is, number 12 is the winner. Congratulations to our winner. Apparently nobody guessed 12, but the closest one was number 13 from Fallen Prophet.
Congratulations, Fallen Prophet.
And now we see Eriphram making up his way through Ganon's tower to find Ganon 2, while Withhelde is making her way back over to Turtle Rock and finally able to... Oh boy, that sound. Jeez.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to have to work your way back through all of Turtle Rock after being there already. At least it's a direct path to the boss, but never fun to have to take your way back through a very long dungeon.
It's absolutely annoying. As you say, at least it's a straight path and all the doors are already open. You don't need to kill anything for keys or anything like that, but it's still very annoying. Alright, a quick Land Mall 2 fight here from Eriphram. And those fancy with whiz rope. Jesus, I can't even say their name.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Eriphram is making a... As I said, that room... Not... That was something that can happen to anyone in that situation. Having to dash through these guards is like the one time where anything can happen to you, and it'll throw you off.
Yeah, sometimes they're just positioned in such a way that you plink off their weapons and you fall in a hole somewhere.
Yep.
Okay, Eriphram doesn't even need to kill the mini Helmosaurus there, has 2 keys left over. Might check the chest for silvers. Yeah, looks like he wants to. At least one of them. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to grab that one. Say that the way Eriphram lit both torches in that room before the chests, the top right torch he lit from the bottom. I loved that. I haven't seen anyone do that before.
Yeah, that's true.
Just move slightly to the right and you can hit it with the fire rod. That was cool.
Oh, combots, man. That's not what we want. Okay, one more chance left for silvers, and then that's going to be it. We're going to be seeing a Silverless Ganon fight, but thankfully, at least, with both Red Mail and Buttersword.
Yeah, Red Mail, Buttersword, half magic even, so, I mean, you still want that torch glitch, but it's definitely not necessary. You could be fine without it.
Yeah, definitely. Could maybe even, well, no, you couldn't. Well, with Buttersword, you could maybe work in some kind of burn the strats. The lag would probably be unbearable, but you could do it.
Oh, really nice first setup on Aghanim here.
Oh man, that couldn't have been better.
And then this pattern to make up for it.
Alright, very nice Aga 2 there.
Mm-hmm.
And Withhelde now coming up on her try next fight is going to be her last crystal, so she's going to have a little bit of a shorter way over to Ganon's tower.
Yeah, unfortunately at this point it would probably take a both run. Very great runs today on a pretty interesting seed. I mean, if you were really to pick this seed apart, as we probably will when we're talking to both of them after this, the I think the only thing you could really say of like, this is something you definitely could have done differently was just checking Hera basement when they picked up the lamp. But otherwise, every decision they made sense. It's just, we now know which ones were the right or wrong decisions.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you, and I don't think it was especially trolly. Maybe you could argue that the Cane of Samaria location was a little bit trolly, but other than that, it just, you know, as so many rando seeds play out, it just came down to, okay, I have a couple of decisions to make, and it's either A or B, and in the end it turns out that the one you chose was the wrong one.
And we saw Eriphram did get that torch glitch. Is pulling off these sword spins for Silverless Ganon very.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that someone's had a little bit of practice here with Silverless Ganon. Meanwhile, Withhelde heading into her Ganon's tower, also starting on the right side. We already know if she goes back to the left side after this, which she will because we didn't find the key.
Eriphram's sitting at fairly low health here, making me a little nervous, but seems to be doing well.
Yeah, it's doing. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Last hit in.
Very nicely done. Finishing up here, GG from us, winning his race against Withhelde, while she is going through Ganon's tower looking for that big key. What do you have to say for yourself, Seed?
We did it!
We did it!
Yay!
Yes. All of us did it.
All of us. Every one of us. It was a group effort, really.
Absolutely, especially you and me, man.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go for...
No, I mean, you gotta, you know, I'm just stating the obvious here. We put the most effort into all of this that just happened.
Yeah, really, this was our win.
Obviously, these runners here putting on an amazing show and allowing themselves to be restreamed in front of hundreds of people, sometimes up to the thousands even.
Yeah, it's definitely very nerve-wracking. I was going to say earlier, but then some other things were happening. I think a lot of the deaths that we saw coming from Withhelde that, you know, was kind of keeping her a little bit behind could easily be accounted for by nerves. There were a lot of things where it was kind of like, you know, she was just walking through a room and going, just trying to go through, but then, you know, an anti-fairy took a turn in a certain direction. And, you know, when you're getting nervous and you're kind of just like trying to get through as fast as possible, it's easy to take hits from things.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, looks like Eriphram is already in the waiting room, so I'm going to drag him in here for his post-game interview. Let's see what he has to say about this. Eriphram, GG. Congrats on your win.
GG.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you feeling after this?
A bit frustrated, to be honest, with that Samaria location. I'm like,
Yeah. That was rough. That was rough.
If it makes you feel any better...
And...
Oh, yeah. Understandable. That, I mean, Hera Basement, who enjoys checking that place, really? Who wants to go back there? I think nobody is the answer.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Only if you need to get a quick cup of coffee or something.
If it makes you feel any better, Withhelde did find the Cane of Samaria before you did, but she didn't find the ice rod, which sent her on the wild goose chase that you were on for Cane of Samaria.
Oh boy.
I think
it was going through my head. Oh man, this is going to be pedestal if I don't find it in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I think Ice Rod really was kind of the deciding factor here, because I think Withhelde had arguably a little bit of a lead at that point, at least. You were going back and forth for a while, but then Ice Rod kind of really did it.
Absolutely. And also, you've already finished in one, but Withhelde seems to be not too comfortable with Silverless Ganon, so
Right.
Even after finding the big key just now, she's deciding to continue through Ganon's tower, probably looking for those silvers. I didn't catch Ganon's hint. I don't know. Did you?
Oh, I didn't either. No.
Did you, Eriphram?
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Yeah, that's all we caught as well. You were supposed
Really should
to
have brought
bring
some
food. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, as we were saying just before you joined us here, other than the Cane of Somaria location, which I guess you could argue was a little bit trolly, it seemed like a pretty, I almost want to say railroady seed for quite a while, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was absolutely steering you in a direction to go here first, go there next. I'm even trying to remember. It's so far long ago now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of overworld progression. I think the flipper location could have maybe tripped someone up. In this case, it didn't for either of you, but it wasn't necessarily in a direct path. That was sort of the first moment where you had options of where you could go searching. It was just fortunate that flippers were right there and you were both on your way through, and then had, swamp is right there after that. Even that fire rod spot was kind of neat as well.
Yeah, I had no idea it was there. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Let's go check it. It's right after there, right after swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good decision by you to just blind grab that. I was saying when that was happening, I was like, did he check that before? Does he know it's there? Or is he just blind grabbing it because he's right around the corner anyway?
Not a clue.
Oh, worked out just fine. Did you at any point... Wait, you did finish up TT. Okay, never mind. Because Withhelde hasn't finished up the back of TT yet, and I was going to ask if you've ever worried about that part, but you obviously did since you finished it.
Yeah, at that point I was like, all right, let's check the places I gambled and might have lost on.
Did you at any point want to check into Ice Palace?
I was going to go check into Ice Palace if Hera had let me down.
Oh, yeah.
I figured I'd go check the quick spots first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at that point we knew Withhelde had found Red Cane and Hera Basement, so we were I at least was starting to think, like, is he gonna go to Ice first? Because it's open right now. I could see some people making that decision, but you ended up making the right call to check out Hera before doing that.
Yeah, now if I didn't still have Spike Cave to check, I might have gone to Ice first, thinking I could at least bundle two together to even out the Ice Palace.
Right, that makes sense, yeah. Chad is thinking that the hint for... I guess that makes sense. We've seen a lot of other spots in the seed already.
Yeah, and I think now with what we've already seen from you and from what is Withhelde is showing us from the rest of GT, it's definitely not in there. I mean, there was one last chest you didn't check in the mini Helmosaur room, so they theoretically could be in there. But if he said Ice, then they're definitely in Ice, and I kind of doubt we're going to see that from Withhelde. Alright, we're coming up here on the stream at least. You're probably a little bit ahead on your end, Eriphram, but we're coming up on your stats here. Flute and Mirror both found in the first 15 minutes.
Found in the first 15 minutes, but we're also the only real progression at that point.
Yeah, there was a ton of money everywhere. $22 bongs, 170 items collected, 1 hour 54. Well, unfortunately, we don't have the link to the SRTV race room, so we can't give the official time that you finished in. You could probably tell us if you wanted to.
Yeah, 1:54:34 is my speed racing TV time.
Nice.
Okay, wonderful. Well, so that marks your first win. How are you feeling about this tournament? What do you think your chances are? What do you think after the 7 weeks of Swiss? Where will you be standing?
Well, if I continue to make decisions like I did today with Terra Basement, I don't feel good about it. But I always go in with a pessimistic attitude and hope for better.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I think that's I'm not sure if I'd call it healthy, but it's definitely familiar at least.
I'd say maybe a healthy bit of caution, then maybe not pessimistic then.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, at least in this case, the that one spot didn't end up costing you the race, and it's something to keep in mind for a future, I guess. I think, as I was saying just before you joined us, that was kind of really the only thing that I think anyone could look at this race and say, like, if someone was looking at this trying to say, like, what decisions did they make that they should have done differently, I think just not checking Hera Basement's the only one you could argue you could have already done. Everything else made sense, though. Even if it turned out to not be the right decision, the decisions you both made all made sense. So if you're looking to learn anything from this one, I think that's probably the major one, was just that that opportunity to check Hera Basement probably would have been the right call. Well, it was in this case, but I think in any case it would have been the right call.
Absolutely. I had, about 3 other chances before I actually went there, and I didn't take it at all, so...
Yeah, I mean, live and learn, I guess. Next time, you go to Hera Basement immediately and it gives you a bomb capacity upgrade and you're like, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's that too. That's rando for you.
Uh-huh.
Dang it, they led me wrong!
That green rupee you find next time you check Hera Basement is going to be vital.
It'll be the 500th rupee for the flippers.
Exactly. You'll be at $4.99. You'll get that green rupee, and they think, thank goodness, now I can check Zora.
Oh, I gotta bail out of Hera. Go to Zora right now.
And then he'll also give you a green rupee.
Okay, Withhelde now on her land mode 2 fight. Doing a pretty good job here. Gets a little bit in trouble with those fireballs. It can be quite annoying if you're charging a spin. Oh, full magic.
I see Withhelde has the magic powder. Was that in the other side of Ganon's tower? I just got the stream up.
No, it was in the low okay. Why can't I think of the right word? It was in one of the chests on laser.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to say the last one, but then I was like, we always do laser bridge in different orders depending on where we are in the game, so last chest doesn't really mean anything. It's in the one closest to the bomb wall.
Okay, yeah, the furthest one down. All right.
Yeah.
The normal key chest.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
She unfortunately also took the gamble of, dipping into Turtle Rock to hope for ice right there, which obviously it wasn't. Now making her way up here, grabbing that magic refill. Doesn't really need it, but, better safe than sorry.
Now, while we have Withhelde finishing up Ganon's tower here, I feel like it's probably a good time to let everyone know that if he's running, it was an excellent race on a pretty kind of frustrating seed. It'd be a frustrating seed to run, but makes it entertaining for us. I'm gonna lead by example and go do that myself.
Oh, look at that! The chest you didn't check had the riot shield in it, and not the silvers. Alright, now we're coming up here on Moldorm 2 for Withhelde. Hopefully not going to be too trolly. Perhaps also these fairies. Hopefully, yeah, still hoping for the silvers here. That compass on that last chest. Completely unnecessary, really. Gets one poke in. Oh. There we go, 3 pokes. Compass and map, right at the end, just when you need it.
Making sure you don't get lost.
Yep. You know, so you can bring something home and be like, hey, look at what I just went through. Coming up on the Aghanim 2 fight, that first pattern that you got on that Aga 2 fight couldn't have been any better.
Here it is again.
The second one, though, immediately made up for it, so...
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of blue balls here. Now the timing's really kind of messed up with these Aghanim clones.
Yeah, those few setups there were not ideal.
Okay, here we go, off to a silverless Ganon fight Withhelde. As far as I can judge, at least, I don't want to, you know, speak for anyone that I don't have facts about, but looks like she's not too happy about having to do silverless here, even though she has the better sword.
Yeah, maybe it could also been. I was thinking there's always that possibility that if she, maybe if Eriphram hadn't already finished, she would have been more eager to just keep going and get into this fight. But maybe the fact that her opponent already finished, she was just kind of like, well, I might as well just keep looking around now while I'm at it.
Oh, and we do get the lag cane strats here, as little as possible at the very least from her, but there you go, with the gold sword already down in phase 3. She's gonna be getting the silver sync here in a second. I wonder if she's gonna give it a try or if she's gonna go and try to find them. Looks like she's ready to try. They are in Ice Palace. Oh, she's thinking about it. Oh, she's going for the torch glitch. She does have a fairy that she caught earlier. You can slash him, but the timing window for that is so precise that spinning him is almost the only way to hit him. Oh, she hits him and freezes him. Oh, that was really close. Alright, here comes the fairy.
Yeah, and I think kind of what we're seeing here too is one of the things about doing Silverless is sort of the trickiest thing about it when you're learning it is that you kind of live in fear of those fire bats that he fires out, and the kind of a key part to Silverless that people don't talk about is learning how to properly just like walk around that so that you're still close enough to hit him after. But you can often see when people are trying to learn Silverless, they stay a bit further away because they're trying to dodge the bat, but then you can't get close enough to get the spin off in time.
Ooh, that was a close one.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. And she does have a blue pot left. Very nice. Probably didn't want to use it yet because of the magic, but she's getting there. Oh, unfortunate. Torch went out right there. I think she's starting to get into the groove. It's just now that, you know, she kind of needs to figure out the rest a little bit, especially with the torch continually going. Oh, almost.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it's kind of it's all about figuring out how close you can stand to and dodge that fire bat at the same time.
Oh no.
Spins off of Ganon and falls down, unfortunately. That's definitely frustrating.
Yeah, that really is.
Might prompt her to just head to Ice Palace and grab those silvers just to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm. It sure might.
Or she might take the time to keep practicing the silvers, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, she's definitely thinking about it. She's grabbing another fairy, which is definitely a good idea. She's trying to anyways. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, a fun little trick there to make it a little easier if you're ever having to grab fairies and you have the boots. If you item dash with the net from the left side of the tree, you will automatically catch the fairy when you block the tree.
Oh, that's very helpful to know.
So no having to chase it around.
Yep, even reset the tree and caught a second fairy here, making it as safe as possible. She is out of blue potions, so she has to watch her magic now. I think at least that she's out of potions.
Yeah, she's out of potions, so she just has those two fairies that she picked up now.
Mm-hmm.
With only 2 bottles.
Has to dodge these fire bats once more, but looking good. Here we go into the next phase. Getting that silver arrows hint again is just rubbing it in at this point. Oh, unfortunately misses the torch glitch. She really needs to watch out for those torches to at least be sort of in sync so she doesn't end up wasting time and magic on when they're lit.
Yeah, using that fire rod. She might want to start using that lamp soon instead.
Yeah, this is going to be it for lighting the torches here. Oh, so close.
Yeah, and I don't think there would have been enough. I don't think she would have had. I think she has enough hits left that it wouldn't have been enough anyway, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're going to buy some potions. Oh no, that guard forcing her to dodge the duck. Alright, here we go. First a green goo to refill on the mana, and then a blue goo to make it worth it, and then give the little maid there a kiss for a free refill. Oh. Oh, and she's going to Ice Palace. She wants those silvers. She's done with trying all that spinning and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's understandable, and they could be in the first chest. So
yeah, I mean, she can leave as soon as she finds the silvers and be done with it, and just have a way easier and less frustrating time with that fight.
Yeah,
it is absolutely commendable to finish out a seed, even though you already know that you've lost and you're going through all this frustrating stuff.
Yeah. And she's doing what she needs to do to finish it, and also, you know, she legitimately was trying that the silverless fight while clearly not being too comfortable with it. And I mean, maybe now this will inspire her to also practice it a little bit. She was getting very close on it, so I don't think it would take much more practicing for her to start getting it.
Yeah, I really think she was getting into the groove of it there. She just needs to practice the timing a little bit, and it's going to be fine. I mean, you also have to remember, you know, it's 2 hours, 20 minutes, and you're being re-streamed. It's a tournament race. Maybe the first tournament race ever. Maybe even the first race ever.
Mm-hmm.
So nerves definitely play a huge role in it as well.
Yeah.
The only grown-up Stelphos we actually see in the game. Well, these in Ice Palace, I mean. There's a couple more further down, but... Not going to be seeing the Ice Palace bomb jump, which in this case is actually a good decision, because if you're planning to maybe full clear this dungeon, the Ice Palace bomb jump might cost you time in the end. Oh, look at this fancy strat here. Going for the fancy bomb strats with the pen gators. Oh, that's not really the room you want to go to, maybe, but I guess she wants to check out the hookshot section first. And they're eluding us still.
Oh, I just hope that cold stare isn't at this point.
I mean, everything's possible. We still got a couple of chests left, but ugh.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Come on, please be in here.
Yay!
There we go.
Yeah.
Not the greatest chest, if not the chest you want to find them in, but still better than being on the boss.
Yes, absolutely. It could have been worse. Oh, I like this. Getting a free health refill here, and then fluting down to Link's house, I'm guessing. And now this Ganon fight will look a whole lot different, because with the Butter Sword and Silver Arrows, Ganon is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And if everything goes wrong, we've still got a Blue Goo and a Fairy, so I'm pretty sure Withhelde will be finishing up in the next couple of minutes. If she is quick enough, she might even pull out a sub 230 here.
Oh yeah, that's definitely achievable with the Ganon fight.
Nice hammer dash there. First try, no problem. I think you don't have any empty bottles. Oh, okay. We're filling up the last heart.
Refilling those 2 hearts, yeah. Only guaranteed way to do it. Other than that, it's cutting grass, hoping to find a heart.
Yeah. Okay, Ganon.
You're gonna regret telling us where those silvers were.
Yep, that was your downfall. Absolutely. You brought it upon yourself.
Well, regret telling us where the silvers were, and also giving us a way to escape the fight.
Yes, true. He did both of that. Here we go. One interesting thing to note is that once you restart the Ganon fight for any reason, either through death or through falling down or whatever, the RNG of the teleports will continue counting, which means you'll never get the same RNG pattern again, and you might end up with a whole bunch of teleports.
Yeah, kind of like that first set of teleports we just got, although that one was nice. So.
Yeah, he's not been too bad so far. Yeah, there we go. Yes, sir, we did. Getting the torch glitch, no problem. And there goes the first arrow. Alright, one more. And there it is.
That'll be GG for Withheld.
Yep, GG to her. Finishing around 2 hours, 28 and 50-ish seconds. I hope she can tell us her official time, or maybe you can tell us, Eriphram.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 52 seconds.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So GG to her. Props to finishing that up. She did very well. Still a very respectable time considering, you know, everything she had to do and she had to endure throughout all of that. I'm not 100% sure if we will get her in for a post-game interview, but she is already in the Discord server at least, so maybe she'll hop back on and tell us a little bit about how she felt about that seed. Well, there, Withhelde. GG. You're sadly only serenading us with Link to the Past music right now. Looks like we're having a slight bit of technical difficulties here. I think we're going to have that figured out in just a second.
Hello, hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi!
Yay!
Hi.
Okay,
How are you feeling? GG again.
GG! So, as you can tell, I'm pretty salty about that run.
Yeah, it showed a tiny little bit.
Yeah,
I
it was a tough one. It was a tough one, honestly.
I wanted to make that gamble. I wanted Turtle Rock to pay off, but it just didn't pay off. And then I found the big key. I had no servers, and it's like, what's even worse is like the last run I did before this, I had a situation in which I had to do serverless Ganon, and hey, it won't come up again, so I'm not going to bother to practice it until it happens again. And it just happened again. And it's like, So that's definitely my fault. I should have been more proactive in my practice.
Yeah, and to your credit, I think from what we were seeing, I think you'll be surprised at how little practice it's going to take, because you were close, you were getting it. So we were kind of thinking like, oh, I think we think this is it, but then falling and frustrations and stuff. So, but I don't think it'll take that much practice. You were definitely close to having it down.
Yeah, I could definitely see I was getting hits in, and I knew I didn't need many hits with the golden sword. So hopefully maybe I could have learned it on the spot, but it's like, I just want to get this race over with. So I just went and got the silvers, and everything paid off.
Yeah, completely understandable at that point. And, at some point you just want to finish and not turn this into silverless Ganon practice live on stream.
Exactly.
But yeah, absolutely huge props. Everyone in chat was saying as well, huge props to you for finishing that seed and sticking it out and, not saying, okay, I lost, let's call it a day.
I know. I know I gotta finish. I've been in these races. I've been in these style of races before. I just know I gotta do it. I gotta tough it out.
Yeah,
For
which
better
I think
and
is
for
very.
worse.
I think that's very commendable, and it was awesome to watch you, and I think you did very well.
So, what did my opponent like get tripped up on?
Well,
Anything?
funnily enough, you guys switched your go mode items. He found the ice rod, and you found the cane of Samaria, and then you both went on the wild hunt for the last item, I guess.
I was like so excited when I found the cane. It was like, whoa, this gamble paid off. And it's like I'm bound to find ice rod at some point. So I just went through the motions and hoped it would fall into my hands. But we saw how that one turned out.
Yeah, and that decision, like we were saying, while you were both still racing, that decision makes sense, and that was kind of when you found Red Cane, but then Eriphram found the ice rod, and so we knew where the ice rod is. My first thought was kind of because that cane could easily lead you to just kind of go straight to Turtle Rock looking for the ice rod, and we knew it wasn't there. But the decision made sense. It just wasn't right in this particular situation. So, I mean, it's still understandable that that's what you decided to do, because it makes sense. There's a lot of items in Turtle Rock.
Yep.
And when you're just looking for one, it could so easily be there.
And I kind of went through that whole race, like thinking I was behind, kind of because I had to kill myself in like the basement because I ran out of magic.
It was so interesting. That was interesting. Where you took deaths that ended up being to your benefit. And so in Escape, it benefited you because you were able to then get a bomb drop in your way through. Eriphram had to leave Escape without any bombs dropping. Granted, there was nothing there, but that was unchecked item locations that you were able to check. And then you ended up having bombs through all of Kakariko Village because of that, whereas Eriphram had to buy some. And then the other one was when I believe you died on the overworld before being able to head into Swamp Palace, and that led you to decide to go and check Lake Hylia and see that fire rod sitting there. So it was interesting. It was like there were just a couple of deaths that were kind of like, oh, how does this change things? And it's like, oh, it changes things for the better, actually.
Yeah, like I don't regret dying in the run. It's like every time I died, I gained something. So It's like I can't feel too bad. Oh well. I'll get it next time.
Exactly. It's only the first week of the tournament as well, and now you've gotten some experience with the tournament race and how everything works and how a run can go, blah blah blah. It'll feel a little bit easier next week, and the things will, it'll get better. The first loss doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Oh yeah, I'm still like confident. Like I'm just kind of doing this whole tournament to have some fun and to learn some new things, and it's like, let's see how far I go. I just gotta keep a positive outlook.
Yep, sounds good to me. Right, guys, so any final thoughts, any last thoughts or shout-outs or anything that you want to give before I see us out from here?
I'm down to practice Silverless Ganon and some other jobs.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, GG to both of you. Again, congrats on your win, Eriphram, and don't feel too bad with health. It was definitely a good showing, and I'm sure you'll do better next time.
For sure, for sure.
If you guys enjoyed what you saw from both of these runners, make sure to throw them a follow. They absolutely deserve all the support. Words are hard. And while we're thanking people here, I also want to thank our tracker, Sage Figaro, and of course, Fiesel and the Speed Gaming community for making all this possible and restreaming all these races. Please make sure to follow all the Speed Gaming channels 1 through 5 and all the ALTTPR or ALTTP randomizer 1
There
through
it is.
4. That is quite the mouthful.
Yeah, there's so much rando happening right now, so be sure to follow those channels and you can get your fill of randos basically happening all day, every day. So
Yeah, exactly. We have so much more rando coming up. Please check out the schedule that the Speed Gaming bot just linked in the chat. To see what Speed Gaming has to offer, check out that schedule that I just linked in the chat to see where more ALTTPR is happening for you to watch. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the last words to you, Baz.
oh, well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Herfy, for doing commentary with me, and thank you both for showing us a good race today.
Yep, it was quite fun.
It was a blast for sure.
And with that, we will be heading off. There's definitely more randomizer happening, so check out that schedule. Herfy link to find some probably right now. There's probably some happening right now while we're talking. So go watch. Go more rando.
More rando.
Bye everybody.
Have a good night.
Yep, see ya.
Bye bye.